Sí. This is what cult stuff looks like for anyone who doesn't know. Look at the look on her face right now. That cat. Hello everyone, my name is Florio. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Either way, it's good to have you here. This week's video, we're going to be diving into something a little bit different. I put out a poll for everyone asking what you wanted me to talk about, and you all chose cults and the Starseeds. So I thought we could explore this a little bit more. It is something that exploded on TikTok more during sort of like the COVID era, the 2020s. But I noticed that they're doing ads on TikTok and other places and trying to recruit people. So that's what kind of got me onto them right now. So then I thought, let's explore the Starseeds. They have a lot of wording and everything that sounds very similar to Scientology, and it's very concerning. I know this video is late to the party. Some of you may already know this stuff. Some of you may not know this stuff. Either way, we're going to take a look at it. But I think it's still a problem. It's just that everyone stopped talking about it. So what I'm going to do in this video to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to just do like a little bit of an introduction into the background of Starseeds, and then we'll together, we are going to look at some of the videos and odd things that I have bookmarked. All right. Some of you might be asking, what are Starseeds? I'm just going to throw this in and then we'll go more into it. This here is one of their advertisements. This is what I saw as an ad, and I thought it looked really culty, or had culty vibes. And then it kind of went from there. My interest was piqued.
Only 1.2% of humanity is Starseeds. Are you one of us?
Take test.
And then from there, they had a website. I can't get it to pop up on here. But anyway, this was the website. And it just looked a little bit creepy. So then I kind of took it from here. This is just a little introduction. Essentially, alien people. Starseeds. Birth of a concept. Let's start at the beginning. Starseeds, or star people, are said to be souls from other planets or dimensions who have incarnated themselves into human bodies on Earth. The idea exploded in the 1970s, but the groundwork was laid before that. In 1950, occultist William Dudley Pelley wrote Starguests, claiming that aliens interbred with early humans. I just want to add as well to this, William Dudley Pelley, he was a fan of the Germany leader during World War II, and he was doing some iffy things, and he did end up getting arrested for 12 counts of sedition. Essentially, it is creating an organization or speech toward a rebellion against the order, established order. I guess kind of like going against the country of the U.S., right? Because he was in the U.S. Essentially, they were accusing him of making statements and kind of speech around it, obstructing military recruiting, and creating insurrection within the military itself as well. They were very concerned about his activities and his association with what was going on in Germany. Also, William as well, there's a lot of stuff that points towards him not really caring for Jewish people too. And this comes up a lot with Starseeds. A lot of people write about it, that they are also a group that really pushes the white people being the special aliens and talks a lot about segregation and stuff. And some people are involved with Starseeds and don't realize this and the background in it, but some people do realize it and they understand the background in it, and they take part in the bad views and and whatnot. I'm trying to be a little bit vague for YouTube. Then in the early 1970s, counterculture psychologist Timothy Leary wrote The Starseed Transmission while he was in prison. In it, he claimed an extraterrestrial contacted him and gave him some sort of plan for humanity's spacebound evolution. And Timothy Leary, he did a lot of psychedelic experiments and different things like that during the, 60s, 70 kind of time. And he did end up getting arrested. It was mainly for weed possession, and he was in jail for that. He did a small amount on him when he was crossing from Mexico back into Texas. He had a girlfriend in Mexico or something. So they kind of got him at the border. And the government seemed to be aware of him because, again, he was like anti-establishment, anti-government. And it looks like, based on what I found, that he received a 10-year sentence, and then they added another 10 while he was in custody for some prior arrest as well. Essentially, they sent him to jail for like 20 years, and he probably had like one joint on him or something. I don't know. I think they took advantage of it to get him, quiet and in jail, because he had some very weird views. This man has a very long history. Just go look him up on Wikipedia. There's tons more. He apparently became an FBI informant, and then they denounced him or something like that. They were saying that he's schizophrenic. There's a lot of stuff in this guy's life. It's pretty, like, you could probably do an hour or two documentary on this guy. If you want to read more about him, because I don't want to concentrate too much, if you want to read more about him, go check out his Wikipedia. There's a ton of stuff there. But the idea of starseeds really exploded with Brad Steiger, a paranormal author who truly put the concept on the map with his book Gods of Aquarius in 1976. Brad claimed that people with certain personality traits or physical features might actually be alien souls, here to guide Earth through a spiritual transformation. Brad Steiger, who was born Eugene Olson in 1936, he had a near-death experience at age 11 that launched his interest into the paranormal. Over his lifetime, he wrote over 170 books on everything from ghosts to Atlantis to celebrity reincarnations. He wasn't a scientist. He wasn't even a consistent researcher. He was a storyteller, and Gods of Aquarius was one of his most impactful stories. Steiger's follow-up book, The Star People, included a personality quiz that helped readers determine if they were starseeds. And that quiz kind of continues today, and then you figure out which starseed you are, and that's a whole other thing. But it asks things like, do you feel like your parents aren't your real parents? Do you suffer from sinusitis? If you said yes to a lot of these questions, you were probably a star person or starseed. Was the quiz a bit of fun? Sure. Scientific, though? Not even remotely. But this kind of pop spirituality made people feel seen, made them feel like they were special, and that kind of idea stuck. By the 80s and 90s, the idea gained serious traction through books, channeling, hypnotherapy, and of course, a lot of the UFO craze and the UFO talk. And this was around the time when therapists were doing hypnosis on people, and they were telling stories about them being abducted by aliens. And it turns out it was the therapist planting memories, but that's a whole other thing. The 2012 Mayan prophecy also gave the movement a huge boost, with many believing the Earth would ascend to a higher dimension. That didn't really pan out, though. But the belief system kept evolving, just like every cult who thinks it's the end of the world, they just pick a new date. By 2010, the Starseed movement began to grow, eventually going viral, especially on TikTok during the pandemic years in 2020. Practices, community, and identity. Starseeds meditate to remember their alien past, and they use something called light language, which I'll show you some examples in a little bit here. They use that to communicate with their star families, and they believe in activating dormant alien DNA, often described as a 12-strand DNA. These beliefs have blended pseudoscience with self-help and spiritualism. If you feel like you don't belong, that's not trauma or anxiety. It's because you're literally not from here. It's comforting to some people. It can be empowering, but it's also something that you can't really prove. A lot of the verbiage is very similar to the stuff we see in Scientology. We'll even ask in their questionnaire things like, have you experienced trauma in your life? Do you feel alone? Things like that. They really take advantage of it. And of course, thanks to social media, communities have formed and grown quite large. Forums, forums, Reddit threads, YouTube channels, and Discord servers all popped up, creating echo chambers of belief. If you ever felt like an outsider, this was your tribe. Now, I'm going to add in a list and explanation of the different starseeds. I might stick it here or I might put it later on after we look at some stuff because it's a little complicated. There's a ton of them. TikTok virality. Okay, now let's talk about TikTok. Starseed content there isn't just quirky. It's cultish. They're influencers like Unicron, and they've declared themselves leaders of cosmic missions. They ask for money. They invite followers to join private groups, and sometimes they require personal rituals or fees as well. And there are some red flags with these different Starseed sort of cult leaders on TikTok. We see charismatic leaders making vague, unverifiable claims. There's emotional manipulation, staged breakdowns. They also try to isolate people, cutting ties with family and society as well. Pressure to buy into programs, courses, or activations, also sinking all your money into them too. And they have a big overlap in conspiracy theory culture. They're big in the QAnon, anti-vax, and some other not very good organizations, so I've heard. It isn't harmless role play. When people are encouraged to distrust reality, disconnect from loved ones, and invest in spiritual hierarchies, they're being recruited, not awakened. Academic and psychological critiques. All right, now let's do a little quick discussion on the critiques of these groups, because we have to ask what's really going on here. Psychologists argue that the traits associated with being a starseed, feeling different, intense empathy, spiritual curiosity, are just human traits. But when people are alienated or searching for meaning, starseed belief offers a flattering explanation. You're different because you're from the stars. And it seems to be a recurring pattern, especially lately. Everyone wants to be special in some sort of way. And starseeds do use Barnum effects. They do broad personality descriptions that feel deeply personal. They do things like, it's sort of like horoscopes, but as aliens. Sociologists point out that the starseed narrative also allows people to claim special status outside of race, class, or traditional religion. It's a hyper-individualistic. It fits into the new age consumerism, and it sidesteps accountability or evidence. Yet, despite borrowing heavily from different scientific language, quantum and DNA and dimensions, starseed communities often reject mainstream science. So they kind of use fancy words to make it sound like it is real, but then they reject science that could disprove it, right? They have developed a very anti-vaccine rhetoric, and they have a huge medical conspiracy theory situation going on. It's very common now. Did COVID play a role in it? Possibly. Critics like Jules Evans have traced the roots of starseed ideology back as well to white cult traditions, including the Thule Society and mid-century fascist UFO cults. Even today, the most popular alien race, the Pleiadians, are described as blonde, blue-eyed, and spiritually superior. We've heard that before. It's not an accident. The Starseed mythos, while repackaged in peace and love, carries the baggage of elitism and subtle racial coding. It's not that all Starseed believers are this way. It's far from it, but the underlying imagery, Nordic aliens, divine missions, chosen bloodlines, it has a big link to history and dangerous ideologies from history. And this elitism shows up in how the Starseeds talk about themselves. They say they're more evolved, more awake, more enlightened than the rest of humanity. When they attach that to lighter skin, blue eyes, blonde hair, it starts getting iffy. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about this stuff, the whole idea of starseeds was invented by people who had this ideology about, a better race that's above all the others. And the writers that I mentioned, they had issues with certain cultures and people of certain religions and skin color. So the basis of all this stuff is built upon a sort of light skin, light eye, light hair being that is above all the rest on Earth. Okay, now let's take a look at more about Starseeds. We're going to do this live together, and I'm going to play some videos. We're going to read some stuff online. So I'll make myself smaller and I'll put the screen up and we'll kind of work through it together. So I have a bunch of stuff for us to look at, and there's stuff that's silly and will make you laugh because this cult you'll realize is wacko. But there's also serious stuff because it is a cult still, right? And there are problems with it. I'm going to, I think, do a little bit of silly first, and then we'll do some serious. We'll do a little bit of silly. We'll kind of break it up a little bit just to give you breaks in between the serious stuff. But I'm going to start with this one first. I was sent these guys this video from Sweet Goth, and this is the first video I watched, and I didn't realize the ridiculous language thing that they do, and I saw it for the first time in this video. So this video, these guys are pretty good. They make fun of it really well. You know, it's lighthearted and stuff. And then we're going to get into more serious stuff about cult leaders, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So this video is going to be a bunch of different sections with sort of different vibes to each of them. I want to take a look at some clips from these guys. They're pretty funny. They include some clips here, so I want to play some that they include. Let's take a look at this.
Goal in this one.
Okay.
But again, like I wouldn't, that just becomes obvious as soon as I start playing it. So
Avians.
let's have, I'm just gonna replay it, I think. Well, 1 second, hang on. I want to get it from the start.
The energy of the blue avians.
Yeah.
Activate your blueprint.
Beautiful.
We have support from the Syrian High Council. The blue avians are Syrians.
Yeah, so I could listen to that all day. That is channeling Blue Avian. The Blue Avians are Syrians, which I didn't realize. I thought there was a distinction between... So Syrian with an I, by the way. It's just not the troubled people of the world.
This is an example of the weird craziness. These people need to seek therapy and real mental health assistance. I'm going to play some more clips here.
That was Syrian, now Acturian.
Syrian. It's got a bit more of an Arabic vibe.
Yeah,
this
I
one.
know. That one's
Feels
kind
like
of offensive.
Let's go to Pleiadian. Now, Lyran feline.
Lyran feline.
Lyran avian.
Also, note, she did start with that Syrian one, and it didn't sound anything like the other one who said that she was Syrian. The Syrian one sounded like a little more Arabic, and the other girl sounded like a bird. But then she's saying that the bird one, they don't, if it's a true language, then they would sound the same. You know what I mean? Like, people fall for this crap. This is so stupid.
Lyran avian. Now, two Earth civilization, Lemuria and Atlantis. Lemurian first. Now Atlantean. Ishak, Arakateka, Sakutu, Kushek,
They're sort of running together a bit.
Yeah, I was struggling.
Yeah, they they do run together. Like they're the same. It's just the same noises. They're just doing like random Sims baby talk. I don't even know creepiness. Okay, this clip here, they come across very creepy likeness about them, and it's just.
Channeled message from the Council of Light, the Council of Creation. As light continues to dissolve all illusions, all true forms will be revealed within the leaders and all
There's a
governing
council.
bodies, with leaders
There's a lot of
the
that, isn't there?
entertainment industry,
Yeah.
within the leaders of social media. You will see those shifting their form within the public eye.
That's us.
You will see reptilians and all star seeds beginning to reveal
Reptilians.
themselves.
Love
As
it.
light continues to permeate this reality, nothing will be safe hidden anymore as everything continues to be exposed.
Look at the outfit that he's gotten himself, right? I mean, that, sure, you could probably come up with that. But look at this. Like, this is a real, he's sewn this up together. This is like some weird Spider-Man. The fuck is he wearing? They show a council meeting, if I can find this one. Here's some other ones, too.
Does it? She does a bit of Morse code.
Yeah, exactly. She's just doing like traditional laser gun noises.
Yeah, notice how it doesn't sound anything like the other ones who said that they were doing Palladian. Oh, here's the council message. Here. This is a message from the council that's being given to all the alien people. If anyone believes this and like thinks this is real, like seriously, you need to seek help. Like you need help. This is insane.
Is her channeling the Great Council.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed, dear one. Yes, we are here. Yes, we do have a message for you and your community in the world. There will be a shift that will happen on your planet. The frequencies of your world will shift dynamically. We implore you now, understand you are in control of your individual experience, your individual frequency, your individual understanding for now. You can create what you desire for your future by merely existing in a frequency that is higher and better. Know that we are here to support you through this shift of humanity. Nothing is happening to you. It is for you and the betterment of humankind's experience.
Yeah. So
Like she looks like she's like gonna Ralph and puke on everyone soon. Like it's crazy. Oh, Bashar, right? They go into Bashar. Bashar he's not a starseed. Like he is channeling an alien. That's a whole separate thing. I mean, we'll probably do a video on him or something at some point. It's so stupid. He isn't doing like the starseed stuff. He's like, there's an alien named Bashar or something that's like outside our whatever Earth orbit, and he's talking to him all the time and he channels him. It's really dumb. And people believe this stuff. Bashar's especially, people believe him. Like it's crazy. Like here, we'll just see the audience. See when he channels him and just see the audience here. It's crazy that so many people are into this guy.
What is the second you this day of your time? How are you all?
Woo! Here he is.
he's in.
Like there's people in there. It's a fair number of people. That's crazy. It's crazy. This is crazy talk. Craziness. There's a couple articles I just want to kind of look over as well. So this is the dark historical roots of Starseeds. This person kind of wrote a little bit of a story because they saw a starseed who stormed the Capitol in 2021. Jake the Angeli, the QAnon shaman. So this guy, he says he's like a starseed, right? And he's QAnon and all this like craziness going on. Yeah, this kind of stuff started the anti-vax stuff hardcore. So people just lose it, I swear. Jake thinks he's highly evolved soul from another planet. So he wanted to look into this person. And he says, the weird history is like 4 parts: the origins of UFO mythology in the far right culture, occult culture, right? We have our number 2 there, the white situation, the idea of starseeds from 1970s to present day, and finally, why is the idea of being a starseed so appealing to young people now? And then he goes into the origins of UFO. It's very linked to UFO. Talks about Aleister Crowley as well and the Golden Dawn. Aleister Crowley's got a whole load of bad issues. There's a reason I'm not doing a video on him. Racially motivated situation thing here, which does come up quite a bit with the starseeds. I'll link this article underneath so you guys can read it a little bit more, because I'm kind of going through it quickly because I think it does have some stuff in here that's like probably YouTube won't like, so I'm just gonna flip through it a little bit more. Why is the idea of starseeds so popular right now? Starseeds are all the rage right now, particularly with Gen Z on TikTok. They feel like they've been born into such a heavy geopolitical situation, and then they're doing this extreme disassociation, which, yeah, that makes sense too. A lot of them feel like, even I know that there's like a whole aspect as well where there's people who spent their whole high school like in the quarantines. They didn't have like proper socialization and stuff, and they are kind of finding to be having some issues as well as they get older. But also, I think the internet has also really separated us and made us less connected to real life people, and I think that's adding to a lot of this stuff. The QAnon was a big one too. Yeah, Starseed myth provides what all good religions provide: a framework explaining the suffering and evil. You're suffering not because you're not from this planet, essentially. You're lonely because you're not from this planet. All your problems are here because you're not from this planet, right? Like, just a quick and easy answer instead of saying like, well, you got to put in the work. Life is hard. And I think part of it too is a lot of these Gen Z kids, like I remember there's a lot of people being raised like they could do no harm. Everyone had to have participation trophies. They stopped like kind of talking about who's winning, and they're doing it now. It's creating people like this though. Everyone thinks they're special, and then they reach the real world where they have to actually work, and they have to listen to a boss, and they have to do stuff. And then they're realizing that they're not special and life is hard and nobody prepared them for this. And I think that we're creating these people by not recognizing those who succeed, so people don't compete and people don't realize that you have to compete in life and nobody tries hard. Like, I do think that we've developed this. This is of our own doing for sure. And it's going to get worse. Oh, this is like a big, oh my God, this is like a big thing. Wow. They're totally like conspiracy theorist people, right? Palladian. And there are different types of starseeds. We'll get into that. And there are different quizzes. Yeah. Do you have blue eyes? Do you sometimes feel homesick? Do you ever long for great purification to sweep away the dross of humanity? These questions too, right? Click here to find out your results here. Let me see if this is a video I have saved. Yeah. That's funny. That's good. All right. I will link the article so you guys can look at it if you want to look at it. Before we get into some more of the videos, I just want to look at a couple more written stuff, articles, and then we're going to get a little bit more into videos and looking at some clips and stuff. So this is another article in Starseeds from 2023. Like, this stuff is ongoing still. It just kind of blew up around COVID, and it's calmed down a little bit, but it's still there. It's a cult. Starseeds are empathetic, sensitive, have more physical and mental health issues as their souls aren't used to having a human body. It's just like they're feeding into the certain type of people. We're going to look at this video. And they talk about the Forer effect. For those of you, it's the Barnum effect. It's the same thing. But they named it Forer effect after this psychologist, Bertram Forer, figured out it was pretty easy to get people to agree with vague descriptions about themselves, such as horoscopes, for instance, right? And the New Age beliefs. It's the same as the Barnum effect that we all talk about. A lot of the debunking community we talk about, and we call it the Barnum effect. If you guys are reading any of this stuff and you're wondering. This actually goes into some of the psychological aspects of it, which I do find interesting. And if I was doing a deep dive, I probably would dive a little bit more into the psychology of this stuff. But it talks about like certain personality characteristics are inclined to believe that these type of notions, if people are fantasy prone, type of unconscious memory error whereby a person gets confused between what's real and accurate and what's unreal and imagined. There are people, that have it in schizopersonality disorders. Yeah, it's in a lot of personality disorders. It's like a mild schizophrenia. And a lot of those people will be the ones that believe in like conspiracy theories. The schizophrenia, the people, the mild one too, people who create tulpas tend to have that. Like people who like they're very imaginative but they truly believe once they like hook on to something, they're not quite, they need real help, right? So then they talk about further effects, encourage beliefs known as ontological confusion. This occurs when people cannot discriminate between metaphorical and factual statements, such as old furniture knows things about the past. And these may be interpreted more literally than metaphorically. It's kind of like how people literally interpret the Bible, but it's supposed to mainly be metaphors. So especially true when the source of the information is perceived to be trustworthy and knowledgeable, dubbed the Einstein effect. This is where trusted sources of information are given more credence because of the social credibility. So like Starseeds, they have a lot of books published, then people think, oh, well, if they have a book published, they're authentic. They throw around sciencey words and some science words that don't really make sense to their point. That makes them more authentic. So this is interesting because it goes into the psychology of this article, and I will link all these articles as well. So and there is this article in 2021. They talk about the Starseed cult kind of coming, and that we are not prepared for it. Lyrians, and they're like, how can we fix this? Learn the warning signs of a cult or cult-like groups, and practice critical thinking. We can take a look at some of these warning signs just to kind of cover it off as well. I do want to include it. Maybe we'll add the warning signs to the end of the video. Okay. I believe it was this lady here, this Unicron, has been sort of acting like a leader, culty leader, of the Starseed movement that happened sort of on TikTok. She's one of the ones that a lot of people talk about. Pop star. She calls herself a cult leader, guys. Featured on all these places because it's so weird. Dolphin technology, angelic technology, unicorn. Like they're like openly saying that they're a cult, right?
When we've got negativity and you're in sadness and depression, what does it look like? It looks like reality. When I had depression and I was sad, I was in a severe place of negativity because I looked around and I said, what is the point of anything? I said, I don't believe that we will ever be happy. I could see everyone is pretending. I could see that everyone is unhappy.
Just to make it clear, this is the kind of talk that like Scientology and other cults do to encourage people to join them. They try to find people who are in like a mental health crisis or like in some sort of struggling, and they take advantage of it. So this is joinUnicult.com. All right. So $11 and you can join them. Sermons. See, this is like, it's so culty. Oh my God. Events. Yeah, this looks really culty. They're just like openly admitting it though. Like it's crazy. Wow. Like they're hitting up people who like are struggling, right? This is the problem. Angelic technology. It's the same girl, right?
Sweet child, why are you pushing so hard? Because nothing's working. No, pushing hard is what's not working. Relax.
They pull people in with like everyday problems. Unicorn the brainwasher.
We're embodied and we're in battle! Our weapons are love, our shield is light, and when we work together.
This looks like a music channel that she has going. This girl's probably like she's got like a bunch of side projects. It looks like I'm sure she's making tons off.
Hey, it looks like you were approved to go to Earth, but only for 1 year. You can do anything. What are you gonna do? I really don't want to deal with like any of the society stuff. I don't blame you, but I want to make like a big impact on culture. Yeah.
Oh, see, this is concerning because they're doing telepathy tape stuff, and the telepathy tapes it's a very concerning. It's not real. It's bordering on, they do bad things to kids that can't consent or say no or anything. It's Yeah.
You can learn telepathy. You've probably already had telepathic experiences with your friends or families, really insane synchronicities you can't explain. The only thing you really need to do is stay dedicated to your practice and also believe in your experiences. Really validate your experiences. This will activate your reticular activated nervous system, and it'll start validating this to be true, and you'll start creating the reality.
So like with this stuff, you got to pay attention. Like she just threw a bunch of sciencey sounding words at you to make it sound like what she's saying is true. Like you do get to know people like in your life, right? And yeah, you can develop like a synchronicity with them, but it's not magical and it's not telepathy. It's just sort of like, you know, someone really well, right? All humans can do this. It's just normal human things. This is not alien. This is not mystical. It's not anything special like that. Yeah, she's really pushing the telepathy tapes.
I've gotten a ton of DMs asking to teach telepathy. And the good news is I actually have a class. So if you are neurodivergent or even neurotypical and you know that you are ready to tap into these abilities, this class is going to get you there. The basic principles of how to learn telepathy aren't that hard. It's all about chakra alignment, spiritual development, reducing toxins in your diet, and then trusting that your experiences are real. But the reason why my class is especially potent is because it gives you the opportunity to really stay dedicated to your practice. This is a skill that you learn how to build, and so staying dedicated is a huge part of your success.
One, just making money off courses, but staying dedicated, and there's probably like a group or something you connect with too. Like it's iffy, it's culty. It's not iffy, it's culty. So raise your vibration, become a crystal healer, tarot readings, where she does tarot, become telepathic. See, $10. I think that she probably encourages people too to like join some private groups and stuff like that, so that she can really build upon people in there. And we're going to take a look at some other ones that this is sort of like a leader type role, and we're looking at some concerning ones, but I'm going to be showing you some ridiculous stuff too, so we'll get to that. But first, let's look at this one.
People ask me, how do I know if I'm a starseed? Nobody seems to ask, what is it like to be a starseed? Starseeds are alien consciousness born into human bodies. Because of our unique energy signatures, we have pretty hard lives. Being a starseed is a super lonely experience. It feels like nobody understands you, and it feels like your family is far away in space. Starseeds have a super different energy signature.
Okay, so that is a cult thing. So this is sort of like the model of some of this stuff, right? Influence continuum, behavior, information, thought, emotional control for leaders, narcissistic, psychopathic, elitist. Like this is the leader stuff. For individuals, authentic self, unconditional love, compassion, creativity and humor, free will, critical thinking. They think that the cult gives them the conditional love. They develop hate towards other people. They follow a doctrine, fear and guilt, dependency, obedience. There's elitism in this whole thing too, authoritarian structure. There's like leader aliens, deceptive, manipulative, yes, clones of people, yes, that ends up showing up here too. No legitimate reasons to leave, yeah. Power hungry leaders, absolute authority. So like this whole, what she said right here about, let me bring it up. Being a starseed is super lonely experience. Feels like nobody understands you and feels like your family is far away in space. They're trying to find people who are in that headspace, which Scientology does this too. Because if they're in this headspace, they're easy for them to mold, right? They're malleable, and then they can bring them into the fold and utilize them.
Starseeds have a super different energy signature than other Earthlings. Because of this, they're often diagnosed with severe mental illness because of their inability to just go about life like nothing is wrong. They can see the corruption in place very clearly. The positives are that
So as well, you bring in people that might be struggling with severe disorders too, and people who are in like psychosis disorders and dealing with psychosis disorders, they can easily fall into this stuff and truly believe that they're like aliens.
the positives are that you're usually super smart and also really psychic. And if you can learn how to master your interdimensional traveling with your conscious energy, you don't have to feel lonely and you can connect to your family in space.
It reinforce the whole like you're special, you're something better than humans, you're something different, you're something more special, and you can learn how to like build upon it, and we'll help you do that if you join us, you know.
As the internet expands on these topics, you can find other starseeds like you. Unicult, for example, is my cult full of starseeds. Tune into the next video to find out if you are a starseed.
What's crazy is people just like go for this like it's clearly a cult, and they're like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway. Just to make it clear, some people do this, like leaders, cult leaders do this for money to rip people off. And in the Starseeds, there's a lot of like psychics that are kind of ripping people off. But some people, like this girl here, is doing it for power. Like she wants to be a cult leader. She's been saying that since like 2020. So like some people just do it for power over people. They don't care about the money. Let's see what she's got. I didn't have a chance to watch her video yet. She talks about medication. She probably has some good stuff about psychology in here too. Starseeds are often undiagnosed with mental illness concerning. Yeah, so she goes into some mental illness stuff. Let's take a listen to a bit of it.
I don't think is super harmful, but there's the potential for it.
But the truth is, I did have a dream relationship with Elon Musk for more than a year. I was dreaming about him all the time, multiple times a week, and the weirdest part was that it was chronological, so our relationship built up every night that I would dream about him. The erotic details are in the zine called Astral Eroticism, which you can get at radicalwitch.com. I have reason to believe I was interacting with Elon's higher self. I have reason to believe.
Can I also just point out that this chick has so many websites? Like, I don't know if she's hiding her income in different websites or something. If there's like a tax reason that she's starting a different website for everything, or like, it's weird. She has so many different websites. What's up with that?
In my dream time with Elon, I found him to be funny and pretty disengaged. He's pretty self-absorbed. He lives in his own head. But of course, he's an interesting person to be around. He showed me a lot of things in the dream realm that didn't come out for like another year. Like for instance, he showed me auto summon a year before it came out, and it really freaked me out because I was like, there's no one in the car. He also uses his dreams to communicate with his employees to be more efficient. In case they have any questions, they can ask him directly in the dream realm so he doesn't have to waste any time in person.
So this TikTok is where I started to get more alarmed, because to seriously claim that you dream dated Elon, so you actually think you know a lot about him rather than, like what your brain just conjured in a dream, is alarming to me, because this kind of conviction in saying things that are this out there typically scares me, because I wonder whether the person is connected to reality. But Unicult has been around for a long time, so either it's a long con or they actually believe this. And if they do, I personally think it's dangerous to go around telling people that you can like dream communicate with people, because then if you become obsessive enough over someone, if you convince other people that they can do that and they have any type of stalkerish tendencies, this could go awry very quickly. You broadcasting this, just like to anyone who comes across the videos, in my opinion, is concerning, especially if there are younger people watching this, more impressionable people who will actually, take this person's words at face value. If you are, like I was mentioning before with cults, if you are in a vulnerable position, like when you're a teenager with hormones, everything just sucks. Is it possible that you'd get sucked into something like this? Because yes, it's alluring to think, oh, maybe I'm a starseed. I'm not like the other teenagers. And you convince yourself of all these things. I don't know. I just find it.
Yeah, like especially women too, although it's happening a lot with boys now. When we're younger, we tend to be kind of like pick-me's. Like, I'm not like the other girls. I'm not like the other guys, The girls are kind of like, I'm not like the other girls, and they see it as like a good thing. Guys are like, I'm not like the other guys. They see it as a bad thing. So then if they run into this stuff, it can definitely pull them in. I do agree with this girl. It is concerning too, because young kids are on TikTok. It's very impressionable. Like the whole Sephora drama with all the little kids inside Sephora, and they're like 5 years old and they're going crazy and buying everything. They don't need skincare at that age, right? And if they get drawn into this cult starseed stuff, that's where you get them. You get them young, and then they like knock out their family. They don't understand the real world, and it's really easy to pull them into a cult at a very young age, for sure. I do agree with her. She has another clip here. I'm wondering what this one is. Let's take a look. It's a bit long, but I feel like this girl has some pretty good insight on some of the psychological stuff in this. So maybe we can listen to a little bit of this. All right, let's see. I like what this girl's saying, actually. I forgot to watch this before I just added it to my notes, but I do like what she's saying. I like this girl's viewpoints. So I know this is like 4 years old, so I'd have to take a look. It looks like she does some commentary, but it's not like flashy TMZ, like, how some of the drama channels are. Kind of seems like she's in between. Like she's kind of having a discussion about stuff that the drama channels would usually do, like a in your face, quick, kind of seems like calm. I'll have to check out her newer stuff. I like this so far though. All right, let's listen.
When I was younger, I was on all kinds of medications. And sometimes I would quit for a day or two, or a week even, just to see if I could. It's always a terrible idea. You end up out of your head. And every time I did this, I would think, wow, I guess I really need this medicine.
All right. I just want to point out, because I know a lot about schizophrenia, and I know there's other disorders, I know, but I just know a lot about schizophrenia. People with schizophrenia do this. They do this a lot. They quit their medications often, thinking they don't need them, and then they end up in a really bad spot. I have a friend who's bipolar, and he says that bipolar tends to kind of do this sometimes too, because of the ups and downs, and you feel so different. And it's like the people that really need the medication are the ones that tend to do this, and they get into a really bad place when they do this. So please don't just stop your medication. Talk to your doctor,
I didn't realize is that I was just addicted and I was going through withdrawal symptoms. So the way that I actually quit was by going off my meds extremely slowly, more slowly than any doctor would ever recommend. I crushed up.
Okay, so yeah, this is true. Our bodies become like physically dependent on these meds, and in order to come off them, you have to do it in like low doses. You have to like lower it down, titrate it. I always mess up the word. She's doing recapsuled. I'm wondering if there's some meds that I was on that I had to do this with because they didn't sell low enough doses, and I couldn't get off the lowest dose they had, and I had to actually do this. But I did under doctor supervision because the person who made the med didn't like offer this option. So it was a really tough medication to get off of. And they put it on me. It was an antidepressant. They put it on me for pain. And it happens a lot with pain patients where we'll start something new and we get like a placebo effect. And for us, the placebo effect can last like 3 months. And then it's like 3 months in, and then that's when your body becomes physically dependent on SSRIs and stuff. And it happened a lot. I've been on a lot of them for pain, and like it was always a placebo effect. Then they stopped working. Then I had to get off them, and it was so difficult to get off them. But it sounds like she was on other stuff because she said a lot of meds, and that's more than just SSRIs. So it sounds like there is something going on with her.
The pills and made smaller and smaller amounts and recapsuled them so that I could take that for a couple of weeks, and slowly lower my amount. After months of this, do you want to know what I found out? I didn't need my meds. I was happier without them. I'm not telling you what to do. A lot of medications help a lot of people. But if you're interested in quitting, do not do it cold turkey.
This is one of the ones that I find probably the most damaging. I'm not the type of person that takes medication lightly. So when I say that, I mean that I think medication is important to take when you have mental illness problems like myself. I'm not on it anymore, but I consulted a doctor. It's a whole thing. But anyway, I think that if you're prescribed medication by a doctor, you should look into it and you should take it seriously in the sense of don't pop any pill a doctor gives you because some of them don't have your best interest at heart, sadly, but also don't disregard everything a doctor says. Like, again, so if you are going to go off a medication, you should talk to a doctor about that. So this concept of her saying that she got off her medication and very slowly tapered it off. Thankfully, nothing terrible happened, but your body, if it is used to having medication, of course, it's going to react when the medication is no.
And like, to be honest, she said that she didn't need it. She found she didn't need it. She's much happier without it. But she's on TikTok, like talking about being an alien, and she started a cult, and she calls herself a cult leader. Like, clearly she does need medication, and she needs somebody to be watching her.
And also mixing that with spirituality, the implication is that there was like a kind of spiritual awakening. She was addicted to the medication, which very well could be true, but it's also like if you're prescribed a medication that's not, fucking Vicodin or something, if you're prescribed like Prozac, for example, it's normal that when you stop taking it, you'll feel an effect. That's the whole point. It's supposed to help you with, for me at least, it was with my depressive symptoms. So when I refer to this as a cult, it's not just me saying that to make it look bad. She actually herself refers to the cult as a cult, and it's called Unicult. So, I mean, it's definitely not like a club. It's a cult. It's in the name. The definition of cult automatically is grim. So it's not really possible for the cult to be positive, mainly because cults rely on the followers to pretty much do and believe whatever the leader says, and that doesn't really leave room for critical thinking. And if you can't think critically and you're not thinking for yourself, you're being manipulated. There's a website called Cult Education, and it's by Rick Ross, expert consultant and intervention specialist. So here are 10 warning signs people involved in with a potentially unsafe group and leader. So I think that some of these apply. Do I think that this is equivalent to a cult like Jonestown? No. But there are other cults like...
It's not equivalent to like Jonestown, but there's a growing number of cults and crimes that are happening through the internet. Like what was it? The 367 thing or something? That's really bad. And these kids are essentially being tricked into something and then they're in this bad situation. There's stuff happening online and it can cause the unaliving of people. Even if they don't meet in person, they have power over people through the internet. So like it is just because it's on the internet and just because like they haven't built their own base or whatever, it doesn't mean they don't have a base. They do. They have their forums and their private groups and things like that, right? And those places are where they're like indoctrinating this stuff, and it does put people at risk. There are people that are like losing their lives over stuff like this. So it is very dangerous and iffy. But yeah, I agree with what she's saying. I do think that the cults are dangerous online. I do think that it is a problem online for sure. Okay, now let's take a quick look at all the Starseed types. I was going to try to like find a video for each one, but there's like 15 of them or something, or 19. There's so many. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we have Arcturian. Arcturian originate from the Arcturus star system. They're known for compassion, wisdom, and healing abilities. There's so many different star seeds. Oh my God. I want to show you guys that there's a ton of them, but I don't want to go through all of them. You know? All right. Lyrian star seeds are the first that came to Earth. They're apparently from Vega. Sirian came from the Sirius star system, the brightest star in the night sky. Oh my God. There's so many, guys. There's so many. I don't want to read all this out loud. It's going to take me forever. Is there a pictorial thing anywhere? Sometimes people do that. I'm surprised that no one's done a full like picture. Okay, these are some like the original drawings from like the 70s, but there's more alien types now. That's the thing. I wonder if anyone's done like an AI on TikTok for it. Someone has to have. This lady talks about the 9 most common from our solar system. There's more than this, but this is 5 minutes. Let's let her talk so I don't have to explain it all, and it'll just cover at least a bunch of them. And then you guys can look up the rest if you want to look up more. Feel free to skip to the next chapter. When I was reading this stuff and when I was listening to this lady explain it, I was zoning out a lot. Like my ADHD just was not focusing. So I totally understand if you want to skip to the next chapter. I found this stuff kind of boring myself.
Number 1, the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians come from the Pleiades system, which you know better as the Seven Sisters. This sits right in the middle of the Taurus constellation. They usually incarnate here on Earth with light hair and light eyes. They come from a matriarchal society, so they are very in tune with the divine feminine. Pleiadians are here to expand consciousness, to help people see the Akashic records, and have access to the 5th dimension. Number 2, the Sirians. These come from the planets Sirius A and B in the Vega system, which is in the Lyran constellation. They love cats and they love dogs. They're here to bring about the spiritual awakening in everybody that they come into contact with. They're very level-headed and logical in the way that they think and process information. Most ascended masters, such as Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, etc., are considered to be this type of starseed.
Keep in mind when you're listening to this stuff as well, there's going to be a starseed for every type of personality and quirk because there's so many of them now, so you can fit into a box, right? As well, if they link a starseed to like some famous person, a lot of people like to link themselves to like famous people in history or famous people now or whatever. It makes people feel special, so they'll do that too. There's a lot of this like verbiage in what she's saying right now.
The Arcturians. The Arcturians usually incarnate here on Earth as people with darker hair, darker eyes, and darker complexions. They are usually more withdrawn and stoic, and they are amazing healers. Arcturus is a star in the Boots constellation. And these starseeds are those that have reached the pinnacle of emotional and mental advancement. Because they tend to be withdrawn and because they are very good at speaking in public, on stage, etc., they sometimes come off as arrogant.
I just want to point out that there's a classic Barnum statement, the one example that most people use that she used right there. She just said that they're withdrawn and they love public speaking and to be on stage. So this is the classic Barnum statement of, well, you are a bit introverted, but you shine in crowds, or you love to be around people, but you need to go home to recharge. It's the same thing. Like you're mentioning introvert and extrovert, and you're assigning it in the same instance so that people will fit into either box. You're going to get everyone to fit into that box. So I just want to point that out, that this is a classic Barnum statement here. And everything that she's saying in this whole video is Barnum statements, which is why else it made me zone out and why I can't read all these descriptions, I think, because it's so repetitive.
They love math, they love technology, they love sacred geometry. Number 4, the Andromedans. Andromedans come from, you guessed it, Andromeda. These starseeds usually incarnate with a very oval face and a more slim build. Andromedans are masters of balance. They can use their left and the right side of their brain. They love math, they love creativity, they love being empathic, and they love being logical. They are the spiritual warriors of the starseeds. Number 5. And my personal favorite, the Orions. And you guessed it, they come from the Orion constellation. They generally incarnate as an earth sign, most generally Capricorns or Taurus, and they usually have very light colored eyes, generally green or pale blue. Orions tend to struggle with their physical self, so they're here to help humans gain a better idea of their mind, of their spiritual self, instead of their physical being. Orion starseeds are obsessed with science, technology, math, geometry, etc. They're super logical.
Like, she already labeled like 3 of them that are good at math or something. Like, it's a little bit, it's a little repetitive, you know?
I.e. Vulcans in Star Trek, but with lighter eyes. They're usually very funny, very smart, very logical, and they can help anybody with any problem, but they may not understand their own emotions. Number 6, the Lyrans. These also come from the Lyran constellation, but these are some of the oldest starseeds to incarnate here on Earth. They're usually born under a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. They have very almond-shaped eyes and usually pretty feline-like features. They are fiercely independent, very physical, and they have a very hefty attachment to their physical body. They are very attuned to the divine masculine and love to take risks and explore. Their job is to help humans appreciate their physical self. Number 7, the Polarians. The Polarians come from the North Star Polaris. They usually incarnate as taller humans, and they're very androgynous. They are considered to be some of the first starseeds from a higher dimension that came here to take up residence in a meat sack. Because they have been here so long, they have a very, very deep tether with the Earth, and they tend to get sick when there are natural disasters. They feel all of the issues of the Earth itself. It can be very hard for them to pull themselves out of being tied to the Earth and learn about the human existence and the world around them. They usually are super, super empathic, and they strive for spiritual enlightenment with themselves and with everyone around them, especially connected to the earth and grounding. Number 8, the Hadrians. These starseeds come from Beta Centauri. They usually incarnate as very shy, introverted people. Because their souls have experienced a lot of trauma in other places, they come here looking for a place to belong. They focus on love and relationships and building interpersonal goodies, gifts, relationships, etc. And they're generally seen as the peace-loving, everybody loves everybody, kumbaya hippies. They are not driven by monetary gain in any way, shape, or form, which makes them very vulnerable to other starseeds like this next one. Number 9, the Draconians. The Draconians come from the Draco constellation. They usually have a lower body temperature and they're attracted to heat. While their mission is to unite people in a common goal, there are good and evil Draconians. They are drawn to math, science, technology, public speaking, politics, and careers that allow them to have a lot of people under their spell. When they're driven by bad intentions, they are very selfish and money hungry. They can rise very quickly to a position of leadership and manipulate everybody under them until they get what they want. However, those that are here for good can work to unite people to fight the evil Draconian. Either way, they're very steadfast and very focused in accomplishing their goals.
This Draconian thing, they link to like lizard people, you know, politicians and people are lizard people. It's a whole thing. She just gave a description of 9 of them, and the 9 of them, they all can be related to a human. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything she described is just human nature, human feelings, human things that happen. It's not alien. It's not special. It's just every human experiences these things. And she just described different personalities inside humans and different careers of humans. Like, it's not mystical aliens. Okay. So I don't know what to call this section. So we're going to call it recruiting videos / weird things. I just have a video that is more serious than one that is absolutely ridiculous that will make you laugh. Then I have an interesting TikTok that related back into religious doctrine to do with starseeds. Way that she worded everything, very fascinating, and I think you guys will like it. And then we're going to end off with me giving some more information about like how to spot a cult, how to recognize it, things like that. Kind of, information, safety information, anything that might help for anyone who's facing these situations. Because it's not just starseeds, like this stuff happens everywhere. Just starseeds are really ridiculous for the most part, so most people can clock them. But there's cults that are difficult to clock, and that's why we're going to cover some stuff at the end. Let's take a little bit of a look of this video.
So today I'm going to be breaking down exactly what a starseed is to see if we can bring some dignity back into this term and de-stupefy it. The term starseeds is the modern name.
Did she say de-stupefy it? What? Okay.
Can bring some dignity back into this term and de-stupefy it. The term starseeds is the modern name for what was known in antiquity as angels. They are residents of higher dimensions that specifically incarnated into a human physical experience with the intention to help raise the collective consciousness of humanity. Those that identify with the term starseed are not immune to the human experience in any way. They still have their own trials and tribulations, their own life challenges, along with their own karma and healing journey that needs to be completed. There are so many here at this time that it truly is not even a special club. All one would need to do to be able to identify whether or not they feel like they are a starseed is to look within and examine whether they feel a very strong mission, a very strong purpose towards being able to help heal the earth as well as raise the collective consciousness. The number one way that you can recognize a starseed is they're very attuned to the level of pain that's inherent within this human experience, as well as the hypnotic forces that are overseeing and ensuring that humanity stays in a disempowered and unconscious state. Otherwise, starseeds can sense that something ain't right.
This is just the human condition. Everyone's so like disillusioned because of society and the way it is right now. And I think technology is not helping the situation. Like they're just describing normal human condition. People aren't special. They aren't angels. They aren't aliens. We're all just humans. And some humans are aware that the world is fucked up. Doesn't mean that you're an alien.
Of course, there would be other variants of consciousness and other realms a being would inhabit other than strictly the third dimensional Earth school. In fact, it is quite egotistical to believe that humans are all that exist in this multiverse. Even though the concept of starseeds can definitely be used to manipulate the human ego into a false sense of superiority, in reality, starseeds are simply souls who have incarnated into the Earth life system from other dimensions in order to assist humanity's future timelines.
There's a lot of verbiage being used here to like explain away the problems with the idea of this. Like, yeah.
In fact, it is quite egotistical to believe that humans are all that exist in this multiverse.
Oh, it's egotistical to think that humans are the only ones here. Yeah, like we all realize like we can't be the only ones. We might be the only ones in our galaxy or something, but you know what I mean? Like, so they're playing on logic for a minute there. They're doing a bit of logic, a bit of like critical thinking, and then they're throwing in the crazy after.
The concept of starseeds can definitely be used to manipulate the human ego into a false sense of superiority.
And right there, they're saying, yeah, this could definitely be used to like brainwash somebody essentially into like a cult-like behavior, but we promise it's not. It's very manipulative.
Specifically, they are here to assist in awakening humanity out of the draconian future timelines that are represented by the military-industrial complex, poverty consciousness, and trauma-based mind control.
The military complex, because if you're an alien, like also if you're an alien, why do you care so much about humans? You know what I mean? Like why are humans so important that you have to be reborn here and help them? Like what makes them so important? Trauma-based mindset. They're using a lot of terms and like keywords to pull people in. This is like very manipulative for sure. Watching back on her wording again as I'm editing this video feels more like a recruitment video into like some cult or some sort of regime or something. This one's probably the most recruity one that I have in this video. There's some other ones that are iffy, but this one's weird if I'm listening back on the verbiage again.
Timelines lead the human race to a future of authoritarianism, much like what was foreshadowed in the classic 1984. However, there is a huge twist in the way that this is achieved. It is achieved under the guise of love. The draconian timelines have understood the only way they will be able to gain the free will of humans to create their own captivity is through the guise of love.
Again, why do you care so much about humans if you're from other planets?
Only way they will be able to gain the free will of humans to create their own captivity is
they're trying to create the free will of humans for humans to create their own captivity. I don't think this is worded right. This doesn't make any sense.
through the guise of love, a false love from a false light that slowly enslaves the human race by making them believe that it is there to protect them. And so Starseeds are here to share all of their many different gifts with humanity so that we align with future timelines where we spiritually evolve and access our power as Source incarnate.
So we're all supposed to like join together as one being in Source? Like, is this the plan? Is this the ultimate goal? It doesn't make any sense.
Humans are a microcosm of the entire universe. However, to be fully identified as solely a human and only relating and resonating with all of the existence through a human identity is such a low consciousness state.
So then here they're trying to say that humans are in a low consciousness state, essentially saying that humans are like dumb and half asleep and not aware of what's going on around them. And if you're like, well, I'm not like that. I'm not dumb. I know what's going on. Like it's to convince you that you're one of them, right?
What's really going on is the fact that the human form is in a state of spiritual amnesia, where they have disconnected from the higher aspects of their own energy field and their totality of their soul. More to the point, what we refer to as an average human are souls that have only had incarnations in the Earth life system. Because of this, they are called Earth souls. Earth souls still contain all of the information in the cosmos within their energetic template, but it is not accessed. If they were to begin to activate it, they could easily shift into new timelines where all of a sudden they have these future outcomes that suddenly exist, where they've had several lifetimes off planet or in other star systems. The reason this would manifest instantly once an Earth soul activates the potential held in their energetic blueprint is because time is an illusion. All there really is feedback loops. And so what starseeds are in relationship to what humans are is beings who have incarnated into the earthly realm and into a human experience so that they do not violate free will. If a resident from a higher plane of consciousness or a higher density truly wishes to be of service to their brothers and sisters, then they're already aware that they cannot stunt that being's development and they would interfere with.
So you're not supposed to intervene on humans' free will, like the human body that you're stealing? Is this what they're saying? They're just throwing a lot of buzzwords at people and trying to pull them in. Like, this is a lot of new agey buzzword crap. This is ridiculous.
With that being's evolutionary process and their growth by violating their free will by simply appearing to them. That's what negative forces do. They manipulate through all sorts of ways that have to do with violating a being's free will. But to truly be of service, those residents would incarnate as a human and then influence beings or humanity at large through the human vessel, through the human experience, because then you're not violating a being's free will.
Yeah, they're incorporating like Bible-esque stuff in there about like free will and angels, not interfering with God's plan of free will. It's ridiculous. They're throwing in everything.
You can't just appear from anywhere and then be able to have people who are not ready for that reality or who are not at a mature level consciously to be able to accept that fully on their own and by their own right if you were to just go ahead and interfere with their own process. So that in and of itself is not honoring a being's maturity. It's not honoring their own journey, their own development, and it's not honoring, therefore, their own free will.
So by this logic too, would it not be interfering with humans' free will by announcing that you're a starseed and trying to convince a human that they're starseeds when they're not starseeds? Wouldn't that be messing up their free will? Wouldn't you just letting them know that you're here, doesn't that mess up the whole like reasoning and plan of this? Like, it's very hypocritical. It completely goes against the whole point here.
They incarnate into the Earth life system over lifetimes, playing out both the predator end of the spectrum and the victim end of the spectrum to fully understand the system that's in place here so that they can best trigger people out of the hypnotic state that is taking place on Earth. Each star origins contains their own abilities, traits, and characteristics.
Okay, the rest of this video is just going through the different kinds, which I'm not going to do a ton of. This is like a recruitment video. I just want to see if there's anything else of interest. Comments. It's a shame some people try to shut us down. I don't think I'm extra special. However, I'm aware of those who feel we are a threat because we see through those who are disingenuous and have been exposed just by our presence. You literally are calling yourself special right after saying, I don't think I'm special. I know because it happened to me many times. In supposed spiritual people, I've been accused of black magic, being antisocial, etc. Send out love anyway, be prepared. I love how you explain a starseed's isolation and light worker becoming drained. Honestly, I love isolation, being in nature alone. Many are called, few are chosen. I must admit, I've consistently felt driven to contribute to humanity's greatest pursuits, aspiring. See this right here. This is a mark right here. This person, someone you can pull in. I feel like this is like a recruiting video, so let's see what it is.
The difference between Starseeds and Lightworkers. Both of these groups play a crucial role on Earth, especially now as we're moving towards what's called the 5D ascension, a shift to a higher level of consciousness and being.
Yeah, this 5D thing, all the like new agey spiritual like groups and whatever beliefs, blah, 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 coaches, fake cults, fake whatever businesses, they're all now using each other's keywords, each other's theories, and they're all combining them together so that, you know, it all makes sense and they can bring in people. I'm afraid that this is going to be the new religion that takes over things, and it's stupid. It's the religion of the stupid. I think I'd rather people believe in a one God creator God than believe that some of us are aliens and some of us aren't. And some of us are like lizard people and some of us are bird people and vaccines are bad. And it's sad, but I think this is our future. This is idiocracy, but like, I don't know. They still have internet. Like, I don't even know. I think this is getting stupider than idiocracy.
And Starseed, and how do they differ? Imagine Lightworkers as beings who bring light, healing, and positive energy to our world. They're like spiritual helpers, beyond what we call the third dimension. Their mission? To support and guide us as we evolve spiritually. Starseeds take this a step further. They're not just from around here. They come from other planets, galaxies, or even different dimensions. Their purpose? To help raise our collective consciousness, to help us all ascend to this new, higher state of being together. But here's an important distinction. While all Starseeds are considered Lightworkers because of their high-frequency work and intentions, not every Lightworker is a Starseed. Starseeds have that extraterrestrial origin. And one more thing to note, not every Starseed is here for this noble cause of assisting with the 5D ascension. There are those from other worlds whose intentions might not align with this mission.
So pretty much not everyone is a Starseed. Not everyone is good. Not everyone is bad. This is so stupid. Like, you're just like making it so that there's a possibility for everyone to fit inside one of these buckets in one of these areas of this stupid belief system. And they're combining light workers, new age spiritualists, light workers, like Reiki masters and things like that. They're trying to combine it with Starseeds together now, saying that they're working on a common goal so they can pull in everyone together.
Dead to keep humanity in a state of lower consciousness. Lightworkers are exceptional beings, blessed with a profound mission to inject our world with positivity and elevate its vibrational energy.
He's just going to repeat the same crap. I find the comments interesting, though. According to my Starseed Psychic reading from Prophecy Boutique on Etsy, first of all, that sounds like an ad. I'm a Pleiadian Starseed, and like, this is probably an AI bot who gave you this reading. Oh, God. My Akashic records. This is all BS. Wow. I'm both religious and spiritual. I'm 20% religious and 100% spiritual. If you're spiritual, you're religious. Like, I guess you're saying you're 20% Christian is what you're saying. The comments are concerning. You know, like, these are all people that are on board with this stuff. Oh, God. Let us all as fellow humans open the door to prosperity and divine oneness. Fellow light workers, let us all as fellow humans. Do you understand? You're saying that you're a light worker, and then you're saying you're a human. Make up your mind what you are. Like, what are you? This planet fascinates me, but it's so tiring. Oh, man. The internet is making people stupid. I think this is just going to be the same BS. Also, this is totally like, this is like an AI script. It's repeating keywords, the same keywords over and over again. Also the pictures and stuff. Like, I have a feeling this whole channel is AI. People are taking advice from AI. AI created content. This is all AI. This is all AI. And look at the comments, you know? People are taking advice from AI, and then they're like saying that they're like working on higher planes and with spiritual blah, 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 and God. And it's literally, this is AI. You guys are like praying to an AI bot channel. Ugh, God, Lord. All right. Well, I could still put this in the section for recruitment videos. I'm going to call this more of a palate cleanser. This one will make you laugh a bit and, you know, kind of just brighten up the mood a little bit before we get into a bit of a religious philosophy that I want to show you guys, and then we'll wrap it up.
Experiencing this reality, it would seem insane to me. You believe you're an alien? Definitely. I can open up a portal, speak your own version of light language as well.
Who is this person? Just travels around and tries new agey shit. Heather Hoffman, aka. Like, these are all just future cult leaders, but they're all probably selling just courses and making money off people. Took a quick look into these ladies just now. So the girl hosting the show, she used to work for BuzzFeed. She was also working in journalism and stuff. So I think she's got, she learned a lot of stuff on making good videos, making viral videos and everything like that. So I think she's got the knowledge, and then she's probably got a chunk of money to be traveling the world and doing all this stuff. And this girl's name is Sky. The other girl is Heather Hoffman, and she's honestly just a wellness coach. What's this Reddit post? She is like a manifestation wellness coach. So just she's selling bullshit. This is an interesting one. Apparently she was dating someone and he started to seem like he was becoming mentally unhinged. Yeah, the manifestation techniques, they make people pay for this crap, and you don't need to pay for this crap. Here's her website. So, she sells courses and crap. You can join her academy. She's got courses all like manifestation, social media courses, blah, 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 blah. And then she's got affiliate products, health products, whatever. She's just the typical wellness pusher. There's so many of these manifestation and wellness coaches out there, and a lot of them are just kind of like, playing the game and grifting and whatever. But some of them start up some like retreats. Whenever one start up retreats, that's when you got to keep a close eye on them, because that's when they start heading down the path of like, are you wanting to have a cult? Like, what's going on here? Because whenever these people start a retreat, things go sideways. I think I actually remember seeing this video. Okay, this thing is so stupid. This is the dumb part. Yeah, some of their talky talk sounds cool and you're like, feel special and you want to be part of it. But I need you guys to witness how stupid this is. Okay? And then you realize this is dumb. This is stupid. I'll play you a bit of it here.
People call it light codes or light language. In the spiritual world, there are people who claim that they can connect with different extraterrestrial beings, speak light language.
Keep in mind, when you compare all of them, when they all talk and they're all supposed to be talking like the same race language, none of them sound the same. They're all just gibberish and all just gibberish baby talk.
I 100% believe in aliens at this point. I've made a couple of videos about it, and one was a documentary with Yes Theory where we actually spent time with people who had abduction stories. I'm hoping that after spending the day with her, I'll have a better idea if maybe there is something to this alien language she's speaking, or maybe my bullshit meters will detect if it's completely a scam.
Okay, girl, I don't think you have bullshit meters, because people have not been abducted by aliens. They are either making it up because they want to feel special, or they've gone under like hypnosis or something, or some sort of trauma. And the hypnosis therapists are implanting memories by accident and on purpose. It's been proven. And also trauma, people will just turn it into stories like alien abduction or like a ghost or like something else. I don't think you have a bullshit meter, mainly because your whole channel is about traveling the world to try out spiritualism and new age stuff, which tells me you don't have a bullshit meter. So yeah, no.
Anyone would be able to do this. It would be her. Let's get out. She's coming. Can I tell you something? I've been wanting.
They look exactly the same. Are they in California? I bet they're in California. They look like the same person. Yeah, she's in California. Of course. They look like the same. They're all, everyone looks the same.
To meet you for like 2 years.
I've been feeling you like you've been coming through the realms recently.
What does that mean, coming through the realms?
Like you've been appearing in different realities, your name, this, that, ideas. Yes, okay. Yeah, I feel her.
This is love bombing, by the way.
What are we doing?
We're just going to allow for whatever is to flow through.
Do you use the pool here?
I do. I love it.
So I've been listening to your music every morning for about a year.
That is incredible.
I just can't thank you enough, because it really makes a difference in my day. There's definitely a time in my life where I struggled a lot with wanting to get out of bed and felt a lot of depression and anxiety and like would just wake up anxious. Listening to those, it's been actually like a pillar of my morning routine. I love that so.
This girl already has like an emotional connection to this person that she's meeting. Like just saying the thing about the bullshit meter, like it's not going to work because she's already got like a huge emotional connection to this woman. And she already like completely believes in her, you know, and has faith in her. How many followers does she have? Is she like that big? I guess, yeah.
That plays sound frequencies that are like cosmic binaural beat sound frequencies that register to certain parts of your brain and activate certain awarenesses and consciousnesses and abilities to feel. Same thing as light language.
I don't understand.
It's okay, you don't have to. Your soul gets it.
When you channel light language, you do specific breathing to get into it?
Yes, usually different every time, but it does require centering my energy.
She just said every time the light language is different every time.
Dum 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 dum.
So like she can't repeat it. This is like the South Park Mormon thing, how you like rewrote the book after she hit it and it was a different writing, it was a different book and it didn't match.
Martin, how do you know he isn't just making stuff up?
Lucy Harris, smart, smart, smart. Smart, 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 smart.
Critical thinking, guys. Clearly the person's just making shit up.
We're ready to like tap into this higher frequency awareness.
Do you believe you're an alien?
Definitely. Like I for sure am.
Have they told you about what's going on in the worlds currently?
I do get confirmation that by 2024, there will be a physical landing where it is known by the mainstream that aliens exist. So within the next 2 years.
Soon!
Yeah, it's really soon.
Okay, well, it's 2025 and this has not happened. They always put dates on shit and it passes, nothing happens.
That's in 2 years.
Yes.
My mind is in a pretzel almost, but...
Yeah, maybe you literally want to stop using human words and you want to speak light language.
Yeah.
So first we're going to be crystal portaling you, setting these crystals with divine intention through your expression of whatever wants to come through.
I like want to believe this is real, but then the human part of me is questioning it still.
Which is natural and normal.
So here we get into like everyone's an alien now. Like there's a human part of you so that you're trying to say that she's an alien. Like everyone's an alien. Everybody's an alien. Yeah.
My fear is that I'm just going to make things up.
At first it may feel like that, but you have to give yourself permission because that's still the ego doubting.
Okay, that whole thing, that's also something that happens with psychics and psychic training too. You're supposed to just accept that these are like real visions and real things coming through, and you have to know that you're not making it up and it's not imagination. You have to accept that it's real. It's not though. Like, and this is what creates people who truly believe. Eventually they come to their senses again and then they either grift or they move on to something else.
Bringing your energy into our hands, and let's activate the energy and holding it to your heart. And with this, opening up the gateway, the portal to your soul's language. So we're just going to be like kind of moving the torso. Desiki ash asanfo. Tenasiki ananarshia. Dwashasan. Dish. Go. Kanaswana.
I just, oh yeah.
Let it speak. Let it speak through you. Ashwa ha ge Wampasin.
This is a cult intake. Like this is what cult stuff looks like for anyone who doesn't know. Look at the look on her face right now. This is so culty. Also, these people have too much money and time on their hands. If you have this much time to believe this crap and get this emotionally invested in everything, then you're not really, you obviously don't have real world problems to deal with constantly. if you had this much time and effort to put into this crap. Look at this face. Jesus. This pause that I hit. My God.
Yeah, sick, yeah.
Wanna see, PDC, yeah, see.
I don't know. Either this lady here is like just crazy, easy to manipulate, or she's just acting. This is stupid. This is so stupid. And this is like a cult recruitment too. Like, this is so dumb. My God, this is so stupid. People believe this shit too, I bet, right? This is funny. It's a sex joke. Videos like this one prove how easy it is to start a cult. Yeah, the amount of people falling for this crap is the real alien experience. Exactly. If there's aliens, this is a good reason why they're avoiding us. This is really incredible peak comedy. Oh my gosh. This is like The Sims 3 interacting with each other. I was going to say this sounds like The Sims 3. At least there's some like reasonable people in here. And then we have this. This is funny. I'm done with the internet forever. Why does every nut job think that they can talk to aliens? Exactly. Well, it's good that it's good that there's some normal people in here. I like language when I cannot get out of stagnant energy that I'm unable to put into words. You brought me to tears. This is ridiculous. At least there's some normal people in here. Like, my God, this is so dumb.
Oh, yeah. It feels weird to say human words after.
Oh my God. I don't know how to explain, but I have a full, like, healing.
Yes, a full opening, a full clearage from your throat, from your expression, from speaking your truth.
Yeah. I was coughing up
energy blockages.
Yeah. My voice feels clear.
Yes.
I feel my voice feels different.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at this chick's. Is she like this crazy in other videos? Tantra Yoga Festival. She's doing mushroom communes. This chick has too much money and time on her hands. Yeah, this chick she got problems, man. Like a Nepo baby. Anyway. Let's take a look at this video. I like this one and I wanted to also add it as well.
One of the reasons I'm able to critique religion and spirituality and New Age spirituality across the board is that once you deeply understand one of those systems and how it taps into human psychology, then you can see it in all of the systems. I've been engaging with this Starseed in the comments, and her arguments, line for line, are exactly what you would do if you were a Christian apologist. So her first argument was that I am not open-minded enough for the aliens to come and visit me, which is the exact same argument that you get from a Christian apologist saying that your heart is too hardened, therefore God can't talk to you. Then she moves to other people, tons of people are having these kinds of experiences all the time, which is the same move that a Christian would make in saying this is the biggest religion. People are having spiritual experiences with God all the time. People are having miracles. God is speaking to them. People are seeing Jesus. It's happening all the time. Then when I call out the hubris that she's considering herself very special, that she has a divine mission that's very common with other forms of religion, that how can she believe that her experience and her divine mission is real when everybody else's and everybody else's religion then wouldn't be real? Which is the exact same thing that I would say to a Christian. How could you have the hubris to believe that we've been humans in this form worshiping gods for at least tens of thousands of years, if not hundreds of thousands of years, but your God and your experiences are correct and everybody else is wrong and going to hell, right? And then what would a Christian say? I'm praying for you, this condescending, like I'm praying for you, and someday when Jesus comes again, I'll remind you of this so that I can tell you
I told you so. How often do I get, like, look at any video I ever do on Christianity, at least half of the comments will be something like, I can't wait till I can tell you I told you so, which is how she's deciding also to end this conversation. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, it's not enough to just leave religion. We are not actually unpacking the roots of religion, which is why new religious behavior is popping up everywhere. In political religion and New Age spirituality, it always goes down to our desire for identity and to feel special, to feel like we have meaning and purpose, some kind of divine mission, that we're somehow better than everyone else, like it's the hubris of like my experiences are real and everybody else is kind of confused. And that just, if you don't unpack that part of it, it's just going to show up in New Age spirituality and political religions, whatever. So I'm not arguing that you haven't had your experiences. I think everybody's spiritual experiences are real. I just want to take a step back and try to make sense of all the spiritual experiences on the table and try to make sense of that. For me, that approach has given me a lot of wholeness rather than getting wrapped into this behavior where I get to say like someday I told you so kind of stuff, which to me is just icky behavior.
This girl actually explains it really well. This is just the same stuff with a different package on it. And this thing, people are like leaving the church, they're becoming disillusioned with the church, disillusioned with the one God religion, and they're turning to New Age stuff. But the New Age stuff is just a copy of what the church was offering, because the church just copied pagan religions, right? Like, I'm pagan and I am religious and stuff too, but I don't believe, like, I've created my own version of what I believe. And it's sort of based on a lot of pagan roots, a few different pagan areas and everything. I choose to not believe in a creator because I think that's where we get a little bit into this thinking. I don't believe in a creator. I don't believe I'm more special than anyone. Like, it's none of that stuff. And I think, like, because I've studied religion a lot through my whole life, because I was encouraged to study it from a very young age. And I was encouraged, like, critical thinking and to question everything from a very young age. And that's what I've been doing. And so I've always done like a lot of research into this kind of stuff. And I think that's where we get like a little bit, we can turn into like dogmatic. We like think we're better than everyone. We think our God is better. We think our journey or our purpose or whatever the hell is like more important than everyone else's. And then we meet others who kind of hop on board and then becomes an echo chamber. The echo chambers are a real problem. It's even a problem too with like online communities and everything. Like, even I was talking about like Selena, right? Selena Spooky Boo. People are like, oh, well, maybe, she'll see your video and realize that she should rethink doing residential hauntings. And I'm like, she has millions of followers and she's in an echo chamber of everyone telling her how amazing she is. Like, she's not going to see my video. She's not going to even hear it. Even if she saw it, she's not going to really listen because she's surrounded by millions of people who are telling her she's right and everyone else is wrong. And this is what happens in these sort of organizations. That's even why, like, when I've gone for like covens and I went to covens to see if I wanted to join some and I started joining them. And then I was noticing it was like, it's a lot of this kind of stuff and a lot of someone wanting to be in power and wanting to be the leader. Right. And it got like creepy or catty or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm out. And that's why it's better if you're going to be spiritual, just have your own inner spiritual like beliefs or whatever, but be careful because stuff can get like a little crazy like this. And it doesn't have to be one God religion. All religions have the ability to turn into this, what this Starseed's talking about. So this girl here, I really like what she's saying. She's very concise. She explains it really well. She links it back to all other religions too, which is very interesting and very accurate and true. So definitely go check her out too, actually. This was pretty good. This was only in April. So yeah, I like this one. This is a good one. Okay, now let's go over a few signs of a cult, just some, I guess, helpful information as much as I can give you. And there's different articles that you can see how to recognize a cult: absolute authoritarianism without accountability, zero tolerance for criticism or questions, lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding where they're spending their money, unreasonable fears about the outside world, often involve conspiracies, a belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving and there's never a legitimate reason to leave, different, things of members, records, books, articles, or programs documenting what the leader group is doing, followers feeling they are never able to be good enough as well, so they're always like striving, a belief that the leader is right at all times as well, a belief that the leader is exclusive. He like they know everything, they know the truth, thus giving it validation. Cults tend to look for people that are in this sort of tough mindset and area, and they can build upon it and take advantage of the people. We'll, I guess, see where this crap goes. The biggest thing right now, I think, is coaches, the spiritual coaches. They're very popular and they're gaining more traction. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but they're gaining more traction lately. And I think that's going to be the next thing. There's an aspect of like grifting for money. And then there's like people that want to be cult leaders and have like a following and have the power. That's the thing. It's always people want power or people want money. That's what it comes down to with this kind of stuff. So concepts like these, like the Starseeds, gives people identity, community, and purpose, but it also opens the door to exploitation, cult-like control, and conspiracy radicalization. Just, to say if you or someone you love is deep into this world, to stay calm and curious. Don't attack the beliefs directly. Instead, ask questions, encourage critical thinking, and keep the door open for reality to come back in. It's very difficult to bring people back and change their beliefs once they've developed it so deeply. While the idea that we're from the stars can be beautiful, it should never cost us our agency, our relationships, our minds, our money, our families. I'm not a psychologist or anything, and I don't have a background in how to help you, but I will try to put some resources as well below for anyone. If you have a family member, or if maybe you're in the middle of it and you're starting to question it, if you need help out, I will try to get some resources from some people I know and see if there's anything that can help link you guys to get some more help or get some help with family or friends that you see going down these bad paths. Not just Starseeds, it can be other organizations too. This is just sort of the tip of the iceberg. I do want to do a little bit more cult stuff. I'm going to try my best to stay away from anything involving the Bible. We're going to look at weird, odd things like this. Like it might have Bible undertones or like things like that, but I want to take a look at the things outside of the church. I know there's a lot more in the churches, but I don't want to go too Bible heavy when we explore this. Let's look at all the like more new agey spiritual stuff first, and then we'll take a look at more Bible related things later if we decide we want to do that. But for now, this is the video for this week. Please do leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on it. Let me know if you want to see more content like this too, because a lot of you guys voted for cults and I do see it on my analytics. So let me know if this is something that you enjoy and we can explore it together. I do want to do some different videos on religions and stuff like that and talk about religion a little bit more. It kind of plays into paranormal, so I don't really mind talking about it here. So it might be something that we could explore a little more together. All right, I will see you guys in the premiere. Have a great rest of your night.